o'clock. At times, your personal appointment, you can cancel it because there is no rule or regulation or somebody supervising you. It's because you want to do what you love. You want to do what you like. So it's not what you know. Everybody knows that you are supposed to get to your appointment early. But if you are not going to be supervised or be scrutinized, you like to get there late. Because you want to do what you do. You want to wake up at your time. You want to use the toilet. You want to brush your teeth, take your bath, and probably take some tea and biscuits, even though the appointment is running out. But if it is workplace, you dare not do that. You rather start eating while you are driving because you know you're going to get a query for that. So, a man does what he loves most times, except when there is a conscious need for him to make a particular mark. That's when we do what we know. I'm saying to take a decision in life, you have to decide between what you know and what you love. What you love comes from the heart. What you know comes from the mind and the brain. 80% of what we do in a normal day-to-day life, I'm not talking of a regulated environment right now, in a normal day-to-day life is what we love. I move on. I said you are a lover. I've explained all that in what I've just said. What I mean by you are a lover is that human beings were a product of love. We practice consistently what we love. We respect, we devote time for what we love. What you love and desire comes from the heart. That's where I'm going. Love is what propels most of the things that we do in our normal day-to-day life. Except for regulations, except for one major reason, we don't go against what we love. We want to do what we love. For example, if there is a public holiday now, what is going to come to your mind first? That what am I going to use Tuesday for? There is an holiday. It's going to be what you love. So how you tell the kids, can we go out for shopping? Can we do this? Because that's what you love to do. Although all other days you love to do it, but because of the pay, you have to report at workplace. So human being, we are a lover. Our actions are propelled by what we love. When there is no rule and regulation or strict conditions to stop us from that. So that's why I said every human being, we are a lover. We do consistently what we love. We devote time for what we love. When you come to people, they say, I'm busy. They say, I'm busy. They say, I'm busy. But if it is the one that loves wine, if he close 12 midnight, he will still go to the pub to take a glass of wine. He loves to do it. But that one does not affect his busy schedule. Out of all the busy schedule, if he's going to leave work at 1 a.m., he will still spend like 30 minutes at the pub. Because he loves to do that. Just like a man that loves the Lord. No matter how busy he is, if it is 10 minutes to the end of the service, the man will still pop it. He said, if it's the grace I want to meet. No matter how busy the program is, the man will say, I need to attend that program. Because he loves it. So what you love, you devote time for. What you love, you do always, consciously or unconsciously. So that's what we mean by you are a lover. And of course, our actions, I've explained, that comes directly from our heart, and it's what eventually forms us. I've explained that earlier, how that our heart determines what comes to us in life, how that our heart determines who will become eventually in life. I've discussed that. I've always used the story of Mary because sometimes we need to break it down. That okay, you are saying the heart determines who will become eventually. How does it happen? How does the process goes? I've told you that Mary kept it in her heart. And Mary asked the question that everyone here and everyone wherever we have done the workshop has only been concerned that, Pastor, can you explain further? How possible is it that what I kept in my heart will come to my hand? How does the process goes? I said the Spirit of the Lord come upon it, the power of God overshadow it. That was the process that gave birth to Jesus. And that's the same process that will give birth to anything that is kept in your heart. And I always said it is noteworthy that you know that it is not only good things that the heart produces, it will produce bad thing also. So that's why Job said, what I feared most eventually happened to me. If you keep fear is a product of the heart too. Hope you know. The same way faith is a product of the heart. If you keep bad thoughts, Bible said casting down every negative imagination. We don't allow it to stay. Consciously or unconsciously, the heart is there. It has been programmed that way. Anything you put into the engine room, it produces it and gives it to you. Either bad or good. This is the essence of the Heartformation workshop. So that you can know that maybe some of the things that have been happening to you, you have allowed your heart to be open. The Bible said it. Guide that heart with all diligence, because out of it is coming all the things that is happening to you every day. So sometimes the heart is what you should guide for before the prayer. The heart is what you should work on. Guiding what is coming into my heart, what is going out of my heart. So you are a lover, I've explained that, and we say consistently what we become is a product of the heart. We've done section 4 also. I also said your heart is your word. Your heart is your word is a self-explanatory. It's just for what I'm saying. What is your word? Is who you become. Your achievement, your productivity is your own word. And we said your heart is your word. What we are saying is that what led to what you become, everything you are saying around yourself, is a product of your heart. So you have a good plan for your life in future. Will you put that plan in your heart today? Can you design it and put it in your heart now? I always like to use this very example. Some of us has a picture of the kind of wife that you would like in future. And so as you go about every day, as you meet people, as you meet ladies, as you meet girls, when you see the qualities of who you want, you get attached to that person that this should be my wife. The same way some people have that picture and said, I want her, she must be fair, she must be tall, she must be a little bit skinny, she must be fat. So even when you are going in a public transport and you sight her, say next station, I like to drop. I want to check that person because that picture looks like the picture you have drawn in your heart. So what I'm saying is that it is possible to paint a picture in your heart. And if you paint it, one day you will see it. You want me to tell you that, do you know it is possible that the picture that you have painted is what gave back to what you are saying? I don't know if you get what I'm saying. When you paint a picture in your heart, over time, one day you will see it. So it starts from the heart. So we said your heart is your word. If you have a large heart that can accommodate a lot of dreams and vision in life, it's just a matter of time. You see that man in a very big world around him also. Those are the men you see with great achievement. Because right in the heart of that man, he has kept a lot of things, waiting for the incubation time, gradually, day after day. So when you see men walking around, they are carrying vision. They are carrying their word around because they have kept it there over time. They kept it there and it's under process. It's always loading. One day, it starts coming forth one after the other. It starts coming forth. When the time comes to give back to it, it starts coming forth. It doesn't start one day. The chair you are sitting on, a man has the architectural design in his heart one day. See, there can be something we can design and we can be able to sit down. I like it to be a wine color. I like the blue one. So as the man is walking, he carries the design. And one day, he decides to work on it. He gave back to it and he said it's a chair. So it's not one day that you see that he has the architectural design in his heart. So that's why Mary kept it in her heart also. So also we said you are what you say. What we mean is that out of the abundance of the heart, the Bible said the mouth speaketh. That's the self-explanatory for that. And also I think section C, we said We are not what we think, we are what we love. I've explained that a lot here already. That it's not your brain that make up you. Fine, we've gone to school, we've gone to a lot of workshops and all that. And the difference between, you see, the difference between the circular workshop, okay, let me give you an example. The difference between a pastor or a preacher of the word and the motivational speaker. Because if you have to be very sincere, sometimes it looks like we are the same thing. Because Christianity is a way of life, right? That's what we learn. Christianity is a way of life. We teach you what to do, how to do well in life, how to please God, and how you can also do well, plan your life and all that. A motivational speaker also tells you, like a life coach, also tells you how you can go about life and everything will be good. Do you know the difference between it? One has life, one does not have life. When a motivational speaker speaks, you say, yeah, I've known what I've been missing. But when you walk out, if you don't take conscious efforts to go and work on it, it doesn't grow itself. The word just sleep there. That's why people know a lot of things, but their result is very small. But do you know the difference between that and what we are doing now? What we are discussing now, it carries life. So after you are living here now, the word carries life. It has breath. The word himself begins to grow. It begins to remind you itself. Remember the function of the Holy Ghost? It begins to remind you itself. It begins to apply himself in the situation of your life. When you want to take a decision, the Holy Spirit brings the word of life back onto you. So that's the difference between the scriptural thing and the motivational speaker. We might be saying the same thing, but the capacity and the potential that is backing it up is different. When a preacher of the word is speaking, the word might be motivational truly, but apart from that, it still carry life with it. But the other one, can you imagine how wonderful the subject of biology is? Have you done chemistry before? Have you studied physics before? These are amazing subjects that explain great things in life. But it's amazing that they are bringing very little results in the life of men. Do you know how many boys and girls passing through the science classes in school? How many of them are doing sciences eventually? Those words doesn't carry life. The ones that are practicing science today, it takes them discipline and conscious effort to follow what they have studied in school before they can become a scientist in whatever area. Others who doesn't take conscious effort, it does not matter. But if it is the word of life, the word itself will be guiding you. The word itself will be propelling you, bringing it to your remembrance and be directing your path. So it is important for us to be able to differentiate between when a life coach is speaking to you, a motivational speaker is speaking to you, and the preacher of the word is speaking. The preacher of the word is dropping life. That after that he has left, just like Jesus Christ has said, he said, I will go now, but I'm not going to leave you empty. The comforter is coming. He will remind you of everything that I've taught you. He said, the word that I speak to you, they are spirit and they are life. The word of God carries a life that goes with you everywhere you go. So when you want to take a decision, that word will remind yourself. Scriptures come. It comes back. But if you don't go back to Google or you go back to your notes, you might not remember everything that the life coach has taught you. Except you are highly disciplined and you take conscious efforts to bring it to pass. So we said, we are not what we think. That is, you are not what you know. Your product is not the amount of information that you have. It's actually the amount of those things that you love. And love comes from the heart. Also, season 7 we talked about you are what you desire. We have talked about this also. I told you that love, desire, affection, emotion, all of them are the product of the heart. So, what you have now is a function of what you desire. If we give you money now, no specification, nothing, I said, can you just go out shopping for some good clothes for the weather and all that? When you come back, you are going to buy everything that you like. Your desire is going to be what you're going to shop for. Except that somebody said, hey, make sure you are not buying black this time around. Make sure you are not buying red this time around. Aside that, you are going to go there and you are going to shop precisely by your desire. So, you are actually what you desire. And we have discussed also, in another session, we discussed about the will of God. Concerning this program, we said, why the program also? We talk about the will of God. We said the will of God, we draw that from the book of 3 John chapter 2, that said, Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things, and be in good health, even as your soul prosper. So the will of God for every one of us is soul prosperity. What is soul prosperity? Formation of our heart. Developing our heart capacity. Right? We have talked here that a man is a product, a spiritual product that lives, that is a, what, how did I gave a different definition recently. Anyway, the common one we know is that a man is a spirit that has a soul that lives in the body. But I remember in my last teachings, I gave a different definition. I can't remember that brings it more to life. But you know that when we talk about the heart, we are talking about the soul aspect, really. So the soul prosperity that this scripture is referring to is to develop our heart, formation of heart. That's the will of God. That's how this one came in. That the will of God is that our soul prosper. And that's so important even to whatever we become in life. He said, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, but only at the level, at the capacity of your soul prosperity. That is, don't expect anything outside the level or the capacity of your soul. So you want to be great, then you have to be great in your soul. And at the same time, you want to be small. It's very simple. Just make sure that your soul is small. Your soul capacity is small. You discover that whatever you do doesn't amount to anything. Anything you do, they just rubbish it. When you talk, they say, keep quiet. When you do it, they say, what did you do? Because you have not developed your soul and your heart, you cannot produce anything that is tangible. So whenever I want to great, it developed his heart. It reformed the heart. It formed the heart. It makes sure the heart has great capacity to be able to produce great things. And what is the ultimate goal? Ephesians 3:17. It says, so that Christ may dwell in our heart. How do you now develop that soul, which is the ultimate goal? It is Christ that dwells in that heart. So when we preach Christ, we are trying to put Christ in your heart because it is Christ that can, the word of Christ, which is the word of life, that can develop the capacity of man. Since you know that the heart produces whatever you put there, it's better you put good things there so that it's going to produce good things. If you put bad things there, it's going to produce bad things. Automatically, whatever you put there comes back. We said the state of your heart determines your journey in life. We said that over and over. And we have this case study. I'm going to do the case study that we'll go to today. The case study that I will always give you, the children of Israel. Remember Hebrews chapter 3, 7 to 11. It's so as the Holy Spirit said today, if you hear the voice, do not harden your heart, as you did in the rebellion during the time of testing the wilderness, where your ancestors tested and tried me. Right? The story, the scenario is talking about the children of Israel. You remember the spies that Moses sent ahead to go and see the promised land, if it is a place that is meant for them. And you remember the story that majority of the spies, they said it is not possible because their heart cannot contain it, right? And they do not have a spirit that is connected to God, and their heart is not following God wholeheartedly. But the Bible always talked about Joshua and Caleb. These are two guys who followed God wholeheartedly. That is, their capacity has been expanded, and not only expanded in the things of the world, but in the things of God. That's why the Bible said they followed God wholeheartedly, and they have what? A different spirit. That was the reason why when they were confronted with the giant, even at the promised land, they did not see them as giants. They saw it as something that is possible. They saw the circumstances as something that is possible. Why? Because they have a heart that is following God wholeheartedly, and they have a spirit that is of God. Meanwhile, the other people that didn't see it that way, what happened to them? They are not following God. He said they are hardening their heart. So when your heart is hardened, it cannot be expanded. when your heart is hardened against that of God, you cannot build capacity for productivity. So they hardened their heart. So when the time for test in life, they were not able to confront situation and bring good results. So they came back to Moses and said, we cannot enter. Said, don't even try it. I don't think that is the plan of God for our life. It can never be the plan of God. Why? When they were supposed to build capacity for productivity, that when they are now being confronted with situation, I'm sure by that time they will say, Moses, can you pray to God to confirm again? He said, no, this is not the time to pray. This is the time to produce from what you have built before. No. Some of you that when you have problem, that's when you go to Monday and bid in a lie. You are praying for tomorrow. It is the yesterday's one that bring forth this one. You have to build capacity over time. You build capacity over time. So those people, when they see the situation, they say, we can never enter. Why? Because there is nothing in them that can confront that battle. They have not built themselves. He said they have hardened their heart against God. And the Bible gives testimony of those wonderful guys, Joshua and Caleb. He said they followed me wholeheartedly and they have a different spirit. So when they were confronted with situation, that's not the time to do 3 days vigil, fasting and prayer. It is what they carry in them. Remember how we started? The ultimate goal, so that Christ may dwell in them. Remember the will of God. He said that your soul prospered. So their soul has prospered. They already have a replica of Christ dwelling in them. So when they were faced with the situation, they saw grasshoppers instead of seeing giants. They saw it as a very possible mission. And they banked that testimony. He said they will enter the promised land because they have followed me wholeheartedly and they have a different spirit. That's not the summary of the scenario, and we have looked at how they go astray and all that. Today I want us to briefly look at a new topic, just for the next 40 minutes, thereabout, before we leave here. We're going to be looking at something. You know, we're already getting to the end of this particular workshop. Like I said earlier, that we just have one more. We go on recess, and in January we're going to start a fresh workshop. Now, some of the things we want to be looking at right now, we're going to be looking at the effect of what we have learned. That when a man has successfully reformed his heart, when a man has successfully go through the heart formation, then your perspective begin to change. About 3 things now. Your perspective about God will begin to change because Christ has now dwelt in your heart. Your soul has now prospered, right? The same way I explained in that scenario, that even though the Joshua and Caleb, they saw giants, it was truly they were giants. Because the Bible records that they were giants in the land. Now, those guys who are the spies who saw giants, that is the fact of the matter. Right? Joshua and Caleb, they said the truth. Because Christ is the truth. The truth is that even though that they were giants, the capacity that they have built has put those giants to nothing. So what happens to them? Their perspective changes. One, about God. What am I saying? When you have gone through the heart formation, which is the soul prosperity we have just discovered, which is the will of God. And how did you say that's going to happen? When Christ has dwelt in your heart, that is the ultimate goal. When those 2 things, which is the essence of this workshop we have been doing for the past 9-10 months, is to achieve the will of God. Soul prosperity, Christ dwelling in your heart. Those are the 2 major things. And why? So that your perspective will change. The same way the perspective of Joshua and Caleb changed. And they banked that record. God said they will enter. He said, except Joshua and Caleb. He said they will enter the promised land. He said, why? Because they have followed me wholeheartedly. So prosperity. And they have a different spirit. Christ dwelling in their heart. Is somebody getting me right now? Now, what is the result in that? It changes their perspective about 3 things. 1, it's going to change your perspective about God. You are going to see the capacity of God more. You begin to see God in a different way. That was what affected those guys. They see that these guys are giants. But the God that I have is not being intimidated by this. They begin to see themselves in God's status. Do you remember what David told Goliath? David was in that same realm. The same Goliath that had been terrorizing them. He said, the God Most High will give him to his hand. The same perspective is what we are changing here. So your perspective will change about God. 1. 2. Your perspective will change about yourself. You begin to see yourself in God. Then 3. Your perspective will change about things, about situations, about people, about environment. So your perspective about God is going to change, about yourself is going to change, and about things, men, everyone. You see that your perspective is going to change about them. Now we are going. I want to give you a scenario that we are going to evaluate in the next 40 minutes right now. Matthew chapter 4 verse 1 said something. He said, then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. I just read the scripture normally. Now I put some columns in between it. I said, then Jesus. I tagged Jesus the appointee. You know what that means? That is the person that is appointed. Jesus is the appointee now. Then Jesus, that is the person in question. That's why we use the word appointee. Jesus, the appointee by God, was led by the Spirit, the appointer. The Spirit is the appointer. You are not writing notes. Write it is important. We're in school. Jesus is the appointee here. Remember I said the purpose of Heartformation is to change your perspective. The next 2 topics we are going to be looking, they will be strange. But I believe the Holy Spirit will explain it. So we have passed the stage of the classes now. We are going into the practical of Heartformation. When your perspective will begin to change about things, about God, about yourself and circumstances. So I said from the book of Matthew chapter 4 verse 1, it's going to be my case study this morning. And of course, you can target allowing your enemy. You can tag the topic allowing your enemy. That's what I'm going to teach right now. And I'm going to use just this scripture. I said, Jesus, right in front of Jesus, appointee. That is the person that is the subject now. The person in question. I said, was led by the Spirit. Right in front of the Spirit, appointer. I hope we understand Trinity in scriptures. It was led by the Spirit. The same way that means it was led by God, right? Appointer into the wilderness, in front of wilderness, right school there. Right school in front of wilderness. To be tempted, in front of temptation, right examination there. By the devil, in front of devil, right examiner. So we are running it all over again. We are doing practical Heartformation now. This is how you will be viewing things now. This is how God begins to interpret things. If truly your soul has prospered and Christ has dwelt in your heart by this workshop. This is what you're going to be seeing. Your perspective will change. The same way that Joshua and Caleb perspective changed about giants. They saw giants, but it was nothing to them. They went back. They said, sir, there is no problem. Let's go. And the other ones who have not been reformed, their heart has not prospered. Said, no go there, they are giants. But those 2 guys said, no, there is no problem, let's go. Because they have so prosperity. Their heart has been formed. Their perspective has changed. Now, I read it all over again. I said, then Jesus, the appointee, was led by the Spirit, the appointer, into the wilderness school to be tempted, examination, by the devil, which is the examiner. Now, if you have all those things, that is the interpretation for a man that can see from the heights of the Spirit. I was talking about perspective the other time. A lot needed to be done to change our perspective, our view that we have been taught long time. We have been made to be evil conscious. They have taught us a lot of things about Satan, about evil. And so we never even see the hand of God in everything. The Bible said God created heaven and heart. He said the heart is the Lord and the fullness thereof. He said all things were made by him. There is nothing that is not of him. We study in the Bible that even the Satan you are talking about is an angel of God. All the skill, everything he had, is still part of what he has acquired in the presence of God. Don't you think God has the power to take everything back when he was going? Say, hey, don't go. Remove all the ranks and let him go. God needs him. Say, let him go. I tell people humorously, I say he's on God's payroll. Sometimes ago I tell myself, instead of you to pray to fight Satan, just go to God. Say, God, I have learned. Tell him to stop. Most time it is God. It's not Satan. He can't do anything by himself. There is nothing that will happen except the permission of God. Let's go now. I wrote here. We are looking at the scripture. I said, Satan and his agents, they are God-appointed examiners. They don't test power. They test wisdom. That is the understanding of God. Now, I'm going to explain two things there now. One, Satan and his agents, the witches, the wizard, the witchcraft, your enemies, they are God-appointed examiners in this world. When God is ready to train you, when God is ready to teach me some things, he won't send angels. Have you seen any angels coming to do evil to any man? Because God is holy. His agents are holy. That is not their department. When they are going to punish someone or to train someone, he still sends these people also. You can go and study Job. And you can go back to this Matthew chapter 4. When it is time for Jesus to perform the duty that he has come to the world to come and do, why didn't God send Angel Gabriel to test Jesus? Are you here this morning? Why can't he send Angel Michael to test Jesus? Why is it that when the Holy Spirit that represents God the Father in this particular context, when he was taking Jesus for the examination for the purpose of what he has come to this world to do, why can't he take Jesus to Angel Michael or Angel Gabriel for the examination? When the Holy Spirit is going to take Jesus to go for his test in this world, which is the purpose by which he has come,